find out. Hello, everybody. We are back.
We are back.
Most of us are here.
Yeah.
Shannon has rehearsal, I think.
She does.
For a show that she's in. And the three of you will just have to do.
It rhymes, so it must be true.
Yeah.
Can't believe it.
Also rhyming. Reminds me of that quote from D&D, the D&D movie, where it's like, just because that sentence is symmetrical does not mean it makes any sense. All right, so who is doing the recap? Not a lot happened.
I did use my inspiration, so
I think you're the only one who did.
If you want to do it, I haven't. So, but you did do it last week, so
I did do it
Josh's
last week,
turn.
but I am lacking inspiration. Do you have inspiration?
I have inspiration.
Oh, then you have to do it.
Liz, do you have
I
inspiration?
have inspiration.
You have to do
Plus,
it.
you have to issue a retraction.
I have to issue a retraction. Yes, I have to apologize to all of our viewers. Okay, so yeah,
The Listerine thing?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Very important to clear that
That's
up.
important. That's important.
Did I post that in the general or the internal on Discord?
That was in the general.
Okay, well then join the Discord and you'll know exactly what to do.
Yes. We started
With an unhinged recap.
with an unhinged recap, as per usual. Where did we start? We started back in the city.
Aftermath of the drop.
So it was
Yeah,
the
the drop.
drop had just happened.
Yeah.
And then so we right away went and bombarded some siege weapons,
Mhm.
and then Groom showed up,
Great.
and yeah, everything went fine, and there were no problems, and the orcs left, and we're done now.
Hmm.
And then we won. We won D&D.
We
Got
won.
medals.
We won.
It was like the end of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just walking down. Yeah, Group showed up in the Pillar of Smoke and
His
told them to
Image or likeness.
What was it again?
Destroy the city.
To destroy the city.
But how do you say it in orc?
Go back and watch the last video.
Liz really liked when you were speaking orc. She wants to speak orc more.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we booked it out of there and called the prince. Told him right away that an angry cloud had told the orcs to get moving, and they were, and he could hear the drums through the sending stone, which we made sure of. So they got things moving. We went back. We were sent as a strike force against another strike force to strike the strike force and force them out of the city. And so we found the beefy boy and
The Tannerite.
the guy with the barbed penis.
And Orcs. Orcs.
No, what it looks like? It's just like-
His axe?
I mean, look where he's holding it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So we found the Orcs and the Tenarks, and they were going around killing guards at the gates. So we chased them down, and we fought them, and we killed them.
But what happened to Beldar?
And Beldar went down and almost died. And when he
The final Tanaruk standing had one final blow, I think, right before you guys killed him.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Cut off his arm, and he was bleeding to death.
And then
You force-fed him a minor healing potion.
did we do
Then
that? Or
Dimian
did
let
you
it
use-
I
stand.
thought you did it.
You
I
did
was,
it.
but you ran up and did it.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
To be fair, I was going to say that.
Okay. We saved him.
Thomas cheap.
He picked up his arm.
I was. But you ran.
He picked up his arm and huffed off.
No, at first you magically healed, because the healing
He was
potion
dying,
helped, but then
yeah.
he had a magical effect that needed magical healing.
Yeah, he had a lingering injury after going to the death saves. He
Right.
was losing a hit point a
Per
round,
round.
and he only had 6 hit points from your minor healing potion.
Right. So,
So that
and
I
then the magical
cure
healing
wounds
closed
down.
up the wound, cauterized the stump.
Right.
And he grabbed his arm and ran off angrily.
He hoofed it.
He huffed it, really. It was more of a huff. He was angry. And then we returned to the castle. We told the guards to keep an eye out and do everything, and we returned to the castle, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
But there was also an audience of city guards who heard the commotion, came and watched us kind of take care of things and heal Beldar. So Beldar can't go off and lie.
Right, there is, yes.
Witnesses.
There are witnesses to our good deeds.
Because we're on a point system, people.
We are.
Like Weight Watchers, but
Yeah.
you know, watching us not be in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Mhm.
All right.
Bale watchers.
And so you went back to the castle to have a long rest.
we went back to the castle to have a long rest
It
and
was
get more
such good
swole.
sleep.
Right.
We slept so hard I gained 10 hit points.
You slept so hard you leveled up.
Yeah. And now I know how to stop people from moving around me.
So what did everybody get? You said what did you get? You teleportation circle and some other minor things.
Yes, so mostly I got spells. So I got another cantrip, which I just switched out for, I believe I'm going to go with guidance to help the party. I gained a 5th level spell, which will be teleportation circle. And then I swapped a spell. I think I'm going to get rid of spiritual weapon. And I picked up counterspell.
Sweet.
Oh dang.
Love counterspell.
I have a lot of 3rd level spells now, but it's fine. I gotta be strategic. Strategery.
Cool.
It can be upcast.
You can up, yes. Yeah.
And how about Willow the Druid?
I gained Guardian Spirit, which is a circle feature.
You already had that. You had Spirit Guardian
Spirit Guardian.
versus
So
Guardian
my
Spirit.
spirit totem is now able to safeguard the beasts and fae that I summon. So when they start or end their turn, they can regain 5 hit points.
As long as they're within a certain
if
range.
So
they
you
go
call
in.
creatures and you call the Spirit Guardian. The creatures can now heal just like everybody else can.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And also I got another cantrip, which I chose Poison Spray. And I got one additional spell, so I chose Enlarge or Reduce.
Okay. Telling that to Gyrus, does Gyrus have any reaction to learning that she can enlarge?
Do you want to get swole?
Yeah.
He took
Yeah.
you took a
Make me big.
you
It was fun.
You took a potion of enlarge.
I did. I got big and I climbed a cave.
Oh, cool.
You can make them big, and I can make them fast.
Gosh.
Shit.
Enlarge and haste.
Holy moly.
Very good.
I'll break the siege. I'll break it right in half.
Baz, I know, got... It was like the purity of the body, so she is now immune to poisons.
And disease.
And
probably.
disease.
Does that include a poisonous disease that's stuck to her forehead and inside her brain?
Not
Yeah,
the
she
same.
just purged it.
That's a
now.
curse.
But...
Agree to disagree.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what you got, and then, like, key points. So.
All right, mark down your inspiration. That was the easiest one yet. You did 2 things. You cast a fireball and you killed some orcs.
We chased the orcs first.
They were big baddies.
They were not easy.
No, they
That's
were,
true.
they were
I used
tough.
all my sorcery points on one maneuver, so... Yeah.
I mean, Beldar lost more than 143 hit points.
Good thing he was
so-
there.
Good thing he was there indeed.
All
NPCs are
right. So with Beldar being otherwise preoccupied, the town guard decided, because he's kind of like the only one that is potentially powerful enough to sort of subdue her, she's going to remain in the castle under lock and key until either Beldar returns or you find some other method.
Better leave her with shrimp.
Fair enough. She can, I mean, she's not like a prisoner. She's just under house arrest.
Yeah.
Different thing. All right.
She just can't leave of her own will.
And so a guard lets you know that information, and you can be on your way. You say goodbye to Baz
Bye, Baz.
Bye, Baz.
Enjoy
And-
your shrimp.
Bye, guys.
and meet up in the You are escorted up to the council room that you've been to a few times now before, and you speak to their names. Their names are always... There's too many people.
Prince Ulverith.
Prince Ulverith, yes. And then also
The kid.
Sir Barum
Baron
Taranthorn
Thorn.
and Korg the Dwarf War Advisor.
Korg. Do I not have Korg?
Korrig.
Korrig. Q-U-O-R-R-I-G-G. Korg. Got it.
You can hear the subtle sound of the drums now. The orcs are just outside the gates.
The orcs are orking.
Okay, that's enough of that. No patience. I have no
The
patience for
orcs
that.
will not be stopped.
They're grooving.
I'm gonna take away your inspiration. One more time.
He'll do it.
I will do it.
I thought I'd be someone who hates beatboxing.
Well, considering you did it, then...
It felt
There you go.
appropriate for the moment, though.
Alright, let me give you some visual aids.
Commitment to the bit. God.
Yes, of course.
Oh,
Korrig,
his nose.
and this guy I already have.
Taranthorn.
Toward
Okay. So these three are there, and Korrig gives you a rundown of what he believes is going to be the series of events that will take place as the orcs travel toward the city gates. First, they will send in small strike forces, if you will, that will start setting fires to any buildings that they can get into. They're just going to kind of burrow into different alleyways and areas, and they're just going to cause arson in as many places as possible. As the fire begins to blaze, they will start getting into sort of a frenzy state, and start once the fire has kind of burned out a significant swath of buildings toward the city wall, they will come and start attacking it. With your information, the fact that the hill giants are there is probably the only way that they could potentially break through the gates, since you believe you destroyed all of their siege weapons. They will keep an eye on the rest of the wall and be sure to alert the rest of the town guard in case another strike force of 10 occurs, in which case you will be contacted immediately to go take care of it swiftly. They have been known to have some healers, some sort of shaman type individuals. Those could be dealt with potentially by some type of aerial feat, perhaps, or some kind of assassination from a distance. So with that information, what they believe you should do is go down to the gate, talk to oh god, my brain right now. The town guard, your buddy, Beldar.
Beldar. Is he there?
He's been healed.
Okay.
He still only has one arm.
But he's ready to get back into it.
Now, does he, what would it be? Transfigure his arm into a weapon? Like a club?
No, he just has a sword. Just a
Does
long
he
sword.
hold his arm?
His
with
rigor
other
mortis,
hand
his
and-
rigor mortis club hand.
and does he have the sword in his hand in his other hand? Like he gets extra
For reach?
Yeah, he has 10-foot reach now.
My God. Gross.
Anyway,
Okay, so for him, I'm going to say that you may as well just use whatever it is for half the hit points.
okay.
Just use those stats. Just cross out the stats that he has full hit points with.
And he would not use a great sword anymore.
Yeah, it would be longsword, which is a D8, I think.
Does he he's still a champion? So if he has more than half of his total hit points remaining, does he still get bonus damage?
That's what I'm saying is...
Yeah, still do
no.
that. No? Okay. Okay, gotcha. I'm just making... I got you. So But is his maximum hit point still 143?
Yeah.
Okay, his max hit point, but he doesn't get that.
He doesn't have the feature
Gotcha.
doing extra damage because he's...
Gotcha.
Undamaged.
D8 plus.
Because now he is damaged.
He is damaged.
He's damaged goods.
He's sort of off his... It's, you cut off the whiskers of one side of a cat, and now he's like...
Doesn't know where to
constantly
go.
walking like this.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Is that ever happened with a cat, really? I don't know. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it.
Whether it's true or not, it works for the
I get
sense. Yeah.
metaphor.
Okay.
All right. You have a few hours, most likely, before shit hits the fan, as it were. So what are you going to do if you are going to do anything? The bells are ringing. People are hunkered down. What are you going to do?
Well, is there a place? Is there a temple for Torm, or a place for the Order of the Gauntlet?
You ask around for the Order of the Gauntlet, and people like maybe some guards, perhaps, and they say, "Oh, I think I've heard of them, but I don't know where they might be located." But the church for Torm, yeah, that's and they point out the church for you.
Sweet.
So if you wanted to go there before the battle ensues,
I want to take a minute to check in with my buddy.
okay. What are the two of you going to do? Or are you just going to follow along?
Yeah. I'm interested.
Probably for now, yeah.
All right. You all go to the Chapel of Torm. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the Chapel of Torm.
Thank you. Perhaps you would know. Well, first, I make an offering. I put some gold in the coffer and I do the proper Torm
1,000
things.
blessings on you and your owner.
Yeah, about that, I don't have one. But thanks, I appreciate the gesture. Torm is already aware of all of that, so we don't need to worry about that necessarily. But perhaps you could help me out. Not very many people here seem to know where I might find some other knights of the Order.
Of what order?
Of the Order of the Gauntlet.
I'm unaware of that order.
But you serve Torm,
We do.
the Hand of Righteousness,
Correct.
and the Order serves Torm.
Oh, wonderful.
Where are the knights?
Oh, we have no knights.
But are they just not here right now?
Who?
The knights of
What
the
knights?
Order of
We
the
don't
Gauntlet.
have any knights.
Syntax error? There's a comma somewhere in your
Yeah,
code?
he's like- Do you...
Somebody stands up
Do you have
from
record?
the pews and walks to the back of the church and leans up against the back of the church. You don't notice this, but you do, and he stares at the group.
We have no knights.
Do you have... where's my accent? Do you have a library or archives? Perhaps the Church of Tyr is Tyr's. Is there a chapel of Tyr nearby? Perhaps they would know what I'm talking of.
Well, indeed, there is a chapel of Tyr just down the street in this church district. For the ease of
Yeah, the
City
good
planning.
city planning. Yeah, that makes sense. It's not like Nivogel was a bit more organic in its growth. Maybe I'll
Do
check him
you
a bit.
have something that you need from Torm?
Well, while I'm here, I should pray. I should check in with
Very
him.
good.
Just
Always a good decision. And the two of you?
It's like this, like, kind of younger guy, kind of bulbous head, bald, in robes.
Just with our friend, mostly. So yeah. Nice.
it's unlikely he'll give us a feast here like he did earlier. If that's what you're
We
looking
couldn't
for.
provide a feast, but we could provide some bread or some meat or water.
Yeah, I don't partake, but thank you.
So the guy is standing against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any pieces of... Are there pews there? Wooden columns near him?
So think of just your average church. There's pews leading up to a altar, some basins, some water basins around, and he's just standing by the exit doors, like leaning up against the wall next to the exit doors.
Mm. I'm admiring the woodwork and the quality of the wood chosen to...
Well, it's a very fine church.
Do you mind if I take a closer look?
Of course not.
So I'll start looking at it and moving closer toward him.
Okay.
Kind of keeping a sense of how he's responding.
Okay. He's smiling at you
Now he was staring and now he's smiling.
like this.
We got the door.
He's a band. Jarvis is genuflecting and like fist pumping, various Torm kind of things.
Totally. So you're just kind of praying to Torm, and you're watching him pray to Torm.
Picking up some pointers.
I think.
Oh, so that's how you do it.
So where's that first priest guy at?
Talking to you.
Up to you if you want him to be still there.
I might walk up to him and ask him about something I read.
Proceed.
And just be like, so, I don't know much about Torm. Or his relationships with other gods, but I started to read something about he might be like either friends or something with Ilmater. I don't know if
Yes.
you've heard of anything about that.
Indeed, he was one of the Triad. He, Ilmater, and I think Lathander?
I thought I read that it was Tyr.
Tyr, Torm, and Helm. Helm? Lathander. I don't remember. I'm not the scholar. I'm more of a janitor, really.
I'm the worship pastor. I'm not into the scripture as much.
Oh, right, now I remember. Torm was one of the three deities of similar interest known as the Triad, along with Ilmater and Tyr. It was often said by common folk that Torm was the weakest of the three in his subservient role, but the role he played was of true importance. He acted as the nexus that held the three together. Torm tempered Tyr's zeal for justice with his gifts of mercy and humility. After the death of Tyr, Torm became the new leader of the Triad, when he took the seat of the Master of Celestia. In this new Triad, Bahamut took the role of the god of justice in place of Tyr, while Ilmater became the god of mercy and Torm the god of law, acting as a point of balance between the other two gods.
There you go.
I picked up a book and I'm just getting through it. It's dense. I'm not bookish, but I appreciate the information. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Happy to answer any other questions if you have them.
It'll just take a moment.
Just a moment while
Just one moment.
search my catalog.
Zipper indeed.
That's all.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Well, if you have any other questions, let me know.
Thank you.
You gonna check with Alan to see if that's all true.
Okay, so you're approaching this individual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He approaches you as you make eye contact with him.
Oh, sorry, I was waving at the person behind you.
There's just a wall behind me.
Oh.
Tell him you can see through a wall.
It's very nice to meet you. My name is Laniver Strail.
Laniver.
Your friend.
Shut up! You're praying.
Your friend had mentioned that something about the Order of the Gauntlet.
I also heard him say that. Is that familiar to you?
Maybe. Why? Who's asking?
Him?
Should I talk to him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Masterful narrative spinning.
Yeah.
All right, I'll finish up my prayers.
Thank you.
At that exact moment, and I walk over and I say, "Who's your friend, Willow?"
Lavender.
Laniver. Laniver Strail.
He knows. He maybe knows something about.
He's like a middle height individual with glasses, sort of short blondish hair, slightly unathletic build. Kind of skinny arms, a little pudgy around the.
Nerd. Hello, Mr. Strail.
Sir Strail, but
Sir Strail. Oh, I apologize. You were not wearing your knightly raiment.
well, I'm off duty.
Oh. I was not aware that was a thing that we could do.
We?
Fellow knights.
You're not a knight.
Oh, I am. I'm Sir Gyrus.
Who knighted you?
I am a knight.
You're not a knight of the gauntlet.
Oh, but I am.
Are you a knight of the gauntlet?
Yep.
Oh, so we're both. That's great. I've been looking for the headquarters, or really anybody in the order here in the city. I have not.
Well, there's not a lot of us.
Oh.
There's like 7 of us.
That's a
Were
good number.
many recently lost in battle?
No. Not recently.
But the stories tell of the many.
Well, we
Many.
come from a great line of knights. But we've since not really had the same clout as we once had, I guess. Do you know how do you know about us?
Well, as I told you, I am a knight, and also I have read of all of the exploits of the brave knights of the Gauntlet throughout the history of the kingdom.
And the readings that you've had are like there are great tales and stories of the knights of the Order of the Gauntlet, but they're from centuries and thousands of years of history, but nothing in the last couple hundred years or so, maybe more. In your readings, make a history check, I guess.
16.
Okay. The last battle that the stories refer to them in is the battle against the ancient white dragon in the north.
Ooh.
And then nothing since.
Well,
we really shouldn't talk about it too much here. Why don't you come with me? How you guys have plans for today, or?
We do later. In a few hours, we are to check in at the gate and serve in a very important role in safeguarding the city. But we have time.
Okay, well, come with me, and I'll bring you to our headquarters.
Okay.
All right, so you follow this
You are
individual.
100% trustworthy.
You follow this individual down the streets toward the poorer districts, closer to the gate that you're planning on going to. He says, "Wait here," and he walks up to this house. It's actually more of like a large apartment complex, like 3 or 4 stories tall. He goes up to one of the doors and does a specific knock, and he mentions something through the door, and it opens up. He says, "Okay, come on, guys." You follow in, and it looks like kind of a shabby apartment. Maybe a garden level, but there's like a basement level too. You see an older woman sitting on the couch reading a book and like drinking some tea, sort of grayish hair. And she looks up and she says, "Oh, hi, Laniver. Welcome back home, sweetie."
I know it.
"Oh, you brought some friends. Did you guys want any food or anything?" "No, Mom. We have very important business." And he leads you down to the basement.
When this happens, I'm writing this down so I can say I called it. Okay.
You go down to the basement, and you see a couple people kind of milling about. Like one person's like polishing a sword. It's not a very special sword, but it's certainly a sword. Another girl is sort of like making little arrows. And you can see that they actually do have some equipment, like some armor that even has specifically the Order of the Gauntlet's crest, which is a sword being held like this, on the blade. So like think of the hilt, and then the blade, and the gauntlet is like holding it mid sword. Savra stands up and says, Whoa, who are these people? This guy was asking about the Order of the Gauntlet, and I figured maybe we could talk to them. Maybe they'd like to join. We don't even know who they are."
Oh, I'm Sir Gyrus
He says he's a knight
of the
already,
Order of the Gauntlet.
I guess. Savra looks over at you. This is a skinnier brunette, also wearing glasses, mousy features. Who knighted you?
Everyone seems really concerned about that. It must have got corrupted in my memory banks.
Since when do Warforged become knights?
A few weeks ago.
Since at the very
You're
least
like
a couple
bumping
months
your head
ago.
on the ceiling, by the way.
Since
And they're all like kind of intimidated by you. But
Good.
well, for as long as I can remember.
I don't really understand. So, what do you want exactly?
Well, I was simply looking for other members of the Order. I assumed that there would be more, and it would be a
Okay.
bit more active and
Well, guess what?
chicken butt.
We are
Sorry, I raised children.
we are active,
Yes.
okay?
Oh, good. Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Just because we're smaller than we once were doesn't mean we're not active. For us here and the other members, we do a lot around the city. Okay?
I'm glad to hear it. I would love to align my actions with yours
Okay.
as a fellow knight.
All right. Well, we can initiate you, I guess. But you have to perform some like impressive duties first.
Okay, such as slaying a frost giant or assassinating the leaders of the Orc. I guess I didn't do that technically myself. Or
First of all, Knights
assassinating-
of the Order of the Gauntlet don't lie. So
That is
start with
that is fair.
How do they sleep?
Well, I don't sleep, so I don't know how to address that. But also, I assure you, I will not lie to you.
Anymore. You won't lie anymore.
I don't think I've lied to you yet.
But if we do enough good for the order, maybe we'll eventually speak to Torm. Is that kind of how it goes with you guys?
I mean,
When was the last time you
we're
guys-
not like conduits or anything.
Oh,
Well, I mean, we know we have Torm's favor. He told us so. When we right before we actually undid the magical effects that took the powers away from everyone.
She like blinks at you, confusedly.
It was a bit of apparently a rather clandestine thing. I came to understand that it was very secretive later. The king and the prince, they were rather upset about it. We're still kind of working off that debt.
I don't think they really talked to Torm a whole lot.
Oh, I'm sure
We talk to Torm.
Well,
we don't,
we've
like,
only, well,
he doesn't talk
I don't.
back.
I don't mean to try to sell us as anything more. He's only spoken to us once, but I don't want to.
And
One of
we
the
know
guys
it
in the
all.
back, he's actually kind of beefy, and he says, "I'm Sir Beric Nylith, and it feels like you're making fun of us, and we don't really appreciate it. If you're here to make fun of us, then you can just go."
No, I assure you, I apologize for any sort of insult that I may have caused. I'm still learning how to properly communicate. It's only been a couple of months at this point that I have been in complete control of my own faculties. So if my
Well,
mannerisms,
The order will take anyone who does service to
oh, certainly,
Torm. So
as a knight of the order, I know.
you're not. Who knighted you?
Again, someone in
No one in this
Nyvirgo,
room
I'm
did.
sure. Oh no, it was in Nyvirgo.
We don't have a Navajo chapter. It's just us. And our other members,
sure
who should
that-
be here momentarily.
I'm sure
actually.
that can't be true.
I feel like you're very confused.
The grand order of the goblins.
Laniver says, "Why don't I fill you in on what we are and what we do, and then we can kind of go through it." Darren and Barrowin will be here soon, and we'll have a little meeting. What? Hey, they're not members of the Gauntlet. They can't be sitting in a meeting.
Oh well,
It's fine.
It's okay. They're not, but I can vouch for them.
It's not that big a deal. Like, we're not going to do anything secret. And they seem interested. A few minutes later, Darren, Edermeth, and Barrowin Under come down. One is a dwarf, and one is a half-elf.
Oh, which one is which?
Darren is a half-elf. Barrowin is the dwarf.
And you said the other one was Barrick?
Yeah, Sir Beric Nylith.
And we have Sir Lavender.
Laniver.
And Sabra.
Close enough. Savra.
Sabra the
Sabra the hummus.
Sabra is the only female. The rest are male.
And maybe before they showed up, I will poke up and be like, "Oh, and for the record, he wasn't making fun of you guys. I kind of was. My name's Endymion. Nice to meet you guys. But
That is no way to treat our hosts.
well, he was accusing the group, and I will take that. So
Honesty
nice
is
to meet
good.
everyone.
Okay, are you gonna stop making fun of us, or are you gonna leave?
Well, I didn't know if we had to be knights to speak. Kind of situation. You're making a big
No.
deal about being officially knighted.
Well, he's saying he's a knight, and he's not a knight, so it's kind of a big deal.
I mean, he's also a warforged that is conscious. So I think we're in a.
And unowned at
doesn't-
this point, too. He is himself.
We're in a
Also,
whole
there's a fur
new
book.
realm of
Basement.
possibilities and weird weird shit. So yeah. You know, I kid.
Okay.
anyways.
Laniver steps forward and says to you, so we're the only chapter of the Order of the Gauntlet. The history that we know of, the Order of the Gauntlet was destroyed in the battle of the ancient dragon in the north and was never rebuilt. So we have decided to reestablish it. It was never an official order. It was never associated to like any kings or anything like that. It was an offshoot order that was made of people with like-minded people with a like-minded vision. And so since it's been destroyed, we thought, especially with how things are going in the world, that maybe it's time that we came back. And so here we are. Now, if you want to join, we can make that happen, and you can become an initiate. Where is the Chavel? I think is the first level.
I sign a piece of paper that's nearby and I hand it to Gyrus.
This means
Okay.
a lot, thank you.
So you can
Putting me at ease.
you can become a rank 1, which we call a Chevel, by earning 1 renown. And to earn a renown, you have to do a good deed of some kind, like help somebody who's getting bullied, or
I can
like-
do that. Endymion don't speak anymore.
more like
Protect you from
a
getting
kid, like a kid who is getting like tossed around by the guards.
Of course.
Um,
of course. To step in and to
And
act in
up-
righteousness,
uphold the law.
to defend those in need.
Mm-hmm. And so if you can bring a witness who shows that you have done a good deed, then you can become a rank 1 and be a Chevel and earn your 1 renown.
Presumably not one of my companions.
He recently fed somebody a healing potion.
Who was dying?
He was dying.
You might know him.
Who?
Beldar Hirsch, captain of the guard.
I highly doubt it.
You can go look.
We would need him to come down and affirm that.
He only
That
has
is a
one
bit of
arm
a tall
now.
order. He doesn't really like
Well,
doing
isn't
what we
that
ask.
convenient?
Well, I can tell you he lost an arm.
And I'd
And you
say
can do a
his
check.
hand is a little full right now.
Oh, that was a clever joke.
was
I
neat.
understood that. That was a joke, for he has one. Well, as far as we know, he has both, but only one is attached. Yes.
Okay, well, if you can have him corroborate your story, then sure.
Okay.
And then, what sorts of things are you doing? Like, you said you're aligned with like minds, with a like vision.
Yeah, we're kind of like, we're often compared to the town guard, but we could not be more different than the town guard. Seriously, we're
That does
nothing
not
like
make-
the town guard.
That does not make sense if people say
But
you
broad,
are like the
but
town
broad
guard.
strokes, sure. We're, one of our more recent good deeds was we set out to kill the leader of the bandits. Mission accomplished. Not by us,
when
but
It was us.
them.
She was there. It was there.
Well,
yes,
I
by
came
Wrath
in at
Nine
the
Lives.
end.
Wrath Nine Lives.
And do you want to talk
Miriam.
about a good deed? They contained what could have been a deadly wildfire for everybody in a 100-mile radius.
Mhm.
That's when I met them. And because of their actions,
they burned down the forest.
they kept
Oh, but-
death and destruction contained.
I see.
Oh, the forest could have been a lot.
We used to have the head of that bandit.
We
in-
did turn in the head
Again,
of
once
Wrath
again,
Nine
very
Lives.
convenient.
The
Lots of
bloodstains might still be in
stories.
the bag of holding. Give a check.
You guys have a bag of holding?
No. Baz does.
We do.
I'm gonna start
We,
pulling.
well, that's
No,
true.
well-
we took away.
We took it. Yeah.
We
Do
did.
you guys have a bag of holding?
Yes.
Don't you?
No.
My head, man.
But I thought you were knights. Like,
Do knights
What do you do?
just granted by Torm get a bag of holding?
Not to my knowledge. That's not in the scripture.
How did we get our bag?
We got it very early by the grace of the DM.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody showed up with a big purse.
Yeah, they were like, "Here you go. This is yours now," and now we don't have to worry about encumbrance.
So in walks the other members.
Mhm.
And they're all like, the whole like, who are these guys, etc.
who knighted you?
All of them ask. And
Hey,
they say,
if I may,
this is all of us.
Who knighted you?
We, since there was no Order of the Gauntlet, someone had to take over as the person. And because we're just a group of individuals with, like I said, like-minded ideals and motivations, we all voted. And Sir Savra, Sir-S?
I think it's just Sir.
Yeah.
I think knights are Sir.
Is who we voted to be the leader, and so she sort of knighted everybody,
And who knighted Sir Savra?
the group as a whole.
Before you were knights, you knighted.
Well, there has to be a first knight somewhere.
So you,
Who was the first knight of
So
the
you-
Order of the Gauntlet?
Oh. You don't know?
Do you?
Yes.
Who?
Sir Alaric.
Is that actually true?
I have no idea. I'm making but I feel like that's something Gyrus would know from his histories.
Okay. Roll a history check.
That is a 9.
Okay, they're like, maybe that's right, maybe that's not. If it is, they aren't positive.
And he was knighted by the king, and also at the behest of Torm.
Okay. Well, it's time for us to do our meeting, but you guys can be here, and then once it's actually really good timing, because if you want to join, based off of what you've told us, maybe we can all vote and give you your first renown. But typically, the rules state that in our charter that you do need to provide evidence of a good deed.
Oh no! I don't want to try to bend the rules or anything like that. I will do what...
Test passed.
Oh, excellent! I will do what I am.
Gyrus.
I will do what is right and what is necessary.
There is a single circumvention of the good deed, and that is to show good lawfulness in the name of Torm, and you just did that. So let's get through the last meeting's minutes, and we'll get to the first order of business and introduce you as the Chapel.
Is there like lemonade and biscuits and stuff on the table? And
His mom comes down and says, "Here's the lemonade, guys. I made cookies for you too."
Thank you, kind lady. I'm sure they are delicious.
mage hand over and grab a cookie.
And some of the people in the group like, whoa.
With my other hand, I'll just give a little prestidigitation, little fireworks around my hand.
A little firebolt right out of the
Boom!
Now,
Oh god!
previous
No, not again.
the Order of the Gauntlet meeting has begun. Now for the previous meeting's minutes. First thing we did was we put reflective strips and attached them to our patrol jackets. Then we went outside, the knights went outside with candles to test them out, and the rest is just boilerplate stuff. So
The Knights of the Night? Is that what that was? Is that what it is? What is that?
correct.
The Knights... Okay, thank you. I know this.
We played
light tag, laser tag, whatever.
light tag,
Light tag.
and it was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Why are you here?
So that seems to be the minutes. All right, first order of business is to deal with what is your name?
Sir Gyrus of Now
Gyrus. To knight Gyrus here as a true knight of the Order of the Gauntlet. He seems interested, eager, shows good understanding of who we are and why we're together, and seems pretty well equipped. You pull out one of the most amazing swords that you've ever even dreamed of. Your shield.
Iron stone going around my head.
Iron stone.
Would you like to meet my horse? My noble steed.
Yeah.
I tamed her.
You have a
from-
horse?
She's not technically a horse. She's an Ichiski.
She could be sticky.
What?
She's a creature of the Fae from the water. She looks like a horse.
They're all just like...
You should hear about having that.
There's a lot happening right now.
That'll be next week. That'll be next week.
All right, what
Speed dating.
what say you, Sir Savra? She's like,
I cannot squint. Don't have.
I
function on
think-
my forehead.
we can give him a shot under probationary circumstances, since we don't technically have any proof of the First Order of good deeds done.
That sounds like good news.
Thank you.
Eating cookies.
Neil Gyrus.
It's just Gyrus, not Neil. Oh.
She pulls out a sword.
So stupid.
Do you solemnly swear to uphold the law in the name of Torm,
I do.
to help those who need help even at your most inconvenience?
I do.
Do you swear to defend and represent the Order as best and as properly as possible?
I do.
Rise, Sir Gyrus, Knight of the Order of the Gauntlet. His mom like creeps down. And,
I'm just gonna give her a thumbs up.
These cookies are good.
Mom, get out of here!
Mom.
All right. Well, as you earn more renown, you can become higher up in the ranks, based off of the existing knights. Some of us can give renown based on their level. You can give renown to the levels below you, but you can't give renown to the people above. Next is rank 2, which is what we call Marchian, and you'll need 3 renown to get that.
Ooh, okay.
But at rank 1, you receive the insignia of the Order of the Gauntlet, a silver pendant depicting the blade of retribution held in place by the Gauntlet of Justice, and it's like a little pin. Wild.
Wait, did you get that, or you would get that when you get to that level?
He has just received that. At next rank, you will have shown that you are aligned with the Order's goals and can take on more responsibility. For more information on the general benefits of the rank, refer to the members. The Order of the Gauntlet offers training in some tools, smith's tools, leatherworking tools, things like that.
Alright.
So they can actually teach you how to
How to do things.
fletch arrows.
Nice.
Sweet like that.
Awesome.
Like Boy Scouts.
That's exactly. It's Boy Scouts.
And
But they're they know some things. They know some good stuff.
I apologize. I have to. I think I will be able to better understand after a reboot, or I have to reconcile this new information with existing information in my databases. Is it your intention to remain secret or clandestine, or should I,
No.
as my, I guess, commanding officer, is it is it our intention to gain members?
Savra says there's a lot of evil in the world right now, and any sign of good can be snuffed out, especially as small of a candle as we are. So we're working in a small way to grow slowly, but with true spirit. So only those who show the vigor of what you've presented can join. Once we get larger and have more resources, then we can start branching out a little bit more and have members who are maybe less eager but still interested in the benefits of joining the order. But the goal is to reestablish the Order of the Gauntlet as a true, powerful entity in the realm. But it has to start somewhere. It was a dead society before. So right now we're trying to recruit members, do good in the world, try and earn money, whatever we can find.
Do you need money?
I mean, sure, we always need money.
How much money?
It's kind of a weird question. Some? Much?
I will pull out 200 gold.
Just like...
Will this help?
I'm gonna aside to Willow as we're eating cookies, should we blow their minds and let them know how our connections, or do we just let this go as long as possible?
Let's
see where this takes us.
So you put it out there, and somebody's like, "Those aren't real," and
Well,
they pick them and "Oh my god, they're real." Just we can just have this.
For the good of the order, I assume there are
of course.
operating costs and upgrades and
more reflectors probably.
You want to be safe when you're riding at night, of course.
I would argue that you might
Darren,
want to try the tape with torches and maybe not candles, but I mean.
Darren Edermeth, Sir Darren, stands up, and he's the treasurer.
Quarterback.
Crying.
And he's like, I don't even know what we can do with this. We'll have to really think about it, using it wisely. But yes,
agree.
we will absolutely do that. You've earned 1 renown.
Well,
Is he,
how about
not
that?
Probationary anymore, or what?
Oh,
I mean, we still need to see some good deeds.
before
Can't be
reaching
paid away,
before reaching rank 2.
Yeah.
Yes. They made it clear I need 2 more renown.
2 more renown.
Move up to
3 renown,
yes.
Mhm.
which are plural without an S
Yes.
Mhm.
and singular.
Renowns. Renowned.
He reaches over and goes over to the little lockbox they have, and it fills it and then some. He's like,
Perhaps
I don't know where to
order. Perhaps step 1 could be getting a larger coffer.
Smart. I will go do that right now.
It's a great addition.
Okay. And so at this point, it's probably time to make your way to the gate.
Can we just find out where they stand on the orc conflict?
They are going to do everything they can. So we're going to try to do everything we can to maintain order during a siege, which is not easy. People take advantage of the situation, loot.
Thieves love a siege.
They do, and we won't have any of it. And so, given our limited resources, we're going to try and protect the area that we can, which is sort of like this little area that we've got around us, kind of on patrol, sort of thing. So,
Will we need to leave Gyrus with you? To do that?
No,
Will we please take
we're not really we're not like a dictatorial kind of group.
Cool.
We're much more go out into the world and do good, as best as your abilities. And if you think that we'll present plans, and if you think you should be there, then sure.
We're knights, not mere soldiers.
But since you just joined, we don't know what you can do and stuff, so I don't want to.
That's fair.
assume.
Also, we do have a certain.
You have another obligation.
We do have a certain obligation. I'll pull out
Punctuality is one of our key things.
I'll pull out the writ from the king or from the prince. That's
Okay.
They
You do recall he said not to flash that around, right?
Never mind, I won't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd be like, we're expected at the gate.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna be
Don't worry. You will have plenty of opportunity to blow these guys' minds.
These cookies are great.
They're like little lemon. Like
Madeline.
No. Sure. Yes, there are some of those.
Okay.
Yes, and there are little lemon shortbread cookies.
Oh,
That she
yeah.
did a good job.
How many are there?
And tea. Like 15.
I've grabbed at least 6 and been putting them in
Perfectly fine.
pockets. Just like, thank you.
Does she hand us more as we go out?
As she goes out, I'm going to like.
So you guys make your way out, and you two have no interest in joining the Order of the Gauntlet.
I think I'm giving thumbs up from the sidelines to be like,
Yep.
buddy, yeah.
This is an interesting show, but they're
This
kind of...
is a Gyrus thing.
It's a Gyrus
You don't want to
thing.
step on his.
No.
or
They're
his
kind
order.
of not nice to him, which isn't cool with me, but...
We're
They're
going to see how this
suspicious.
goes.
They were
We're gonna
just-
see how
yeah.
this
Yeah.
goes.
Their suspicion doesn't sit well with me, but it's entertaining.
As we leave, I'm gonna go to Miss Laniver's
Miss
mom,
Strail.
Miss Strail,
Miss-
like
yeah.
like bow and like take her hand and like thank
Oh.
you for your hospitality, madam.
You betcha.
I have a half-eaten cookie in my mouth, like sticking out of my mouth, just like, I'm gonna grab her by the arms and just hug her.
She's like, okay, well, before you go, and she like gets a little like sackcloth and like puts like 15 more. It's like, you should take these with you.
I'm sure we'll be back.
Okay.
For more of those.
Great. It's nice to see Laniver have branching out.
Does the order pay rent for the space in your home?
My son doesn't need to pay rent.
But that's very generous.
He takes care of lots of things around here.
As long as we are earning our keep.
Sure. I make enough to. I'm a baker, so I'm gonna make enough.
Good
to,
one.
Yeah.
Very good one.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right.
I make enough to keep my house.
Okay.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Good to meet you. All right.
All right. As the drums of war approach.
Oh, war!
I was convinced. I was sure that the
They're
order.
playing D&D
Yeah,
and D&D.
that we were gonna go into some kid's basement and play and just like meet his friends who are pretending to be knights, like and playing D&D.
Well, hopefully you're pleasantly surprised.
No, this is great. This is awesome.
So you could be this knight, and he's a paladin. So he's gonna have some magic, and that's a little complicated. And we'll get to that eventually. I think you should maybe be a fighter.
All right. So
You know what? You're new. We're gonna make you the cleric.
The bar.
new person should not be the cleric.
That's fair. That's
A new person
Cleric's
should be
important.
a barbarian or a fighter.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can hear the drums approach. You go to the front gates and ask where your Beldar Hirsch is. And he's barking orders at a group.
When did he become a dog?
Is he I realize we're like hammering this really hard, but is he like gesticulating with his severed arm to like drive home the
his
point?
arm is nowhere to be
God,
around.
that would be so awesome though if he's like, hey, get over there.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be so good.
Yes.
No, he has no.
Necessary.
Okay, that's
He
fine.
does not have his arm in hand.
Okay.
He currently has just nothing from shoulder down.
Sure.
Just the one arm. He looks over at you and tells you that the let's bring him up. He mentions, imagine him with only one arm.
It's like MS Paint.
So,
Crossing it.
Korig told you what was going to happen, and he was right. They've already sent in some raiding parties to try and burn down some buildings. Our men flooded the area to stomp out the flames, but we don't know where they're going to strike, and this fucking shanty town is a fucking tinderbox. So it's only a matter of time before it begins.
What are your plans? What did they say that you'll be doing? Or is it just up to you?
I suppose it's up to us. We were to check in with you. Is there a particular...
To get my input?
I suppose you've been up here.
I think
You would have a better
mostly
idea.
to make sure you're doing all right. We haven't seen you since the incident. How are you doing, friend?
Once we get a second to breathe. Thank you. Once we get a second to breathe, I'd like to talk to you about that. But for now, we have more important fish to fry. Not literally.
It's fair. It's fair. It's fair.
What?
I'm just.
Good.
I've seen some of the things you could do.
Really bonding here.
Now I know you can cast some fireballs. That's not really. Can you do the opposite?
Control flames.
Sure. Or some like water or something.
Yes, control water. I can do that.
And what's that
The
about?
water needs to exist there already, right?
You can't like create water.
Is that
Mm,
you're
no,
looking? You're
don't
looking
have
to
that.
put out fires.
Right.
Yes. The orcs are setting fires. We need to put them
In
out.
random areas around town. So I figured maybe you could like fly and cast like water. Use your magic.
I can't.
Just use magic to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just magic.
It's just.
Use magic to stop
I
the
just
fire.
have to do the magic first, and then I can do the magic to become the flying thing. I can't be the flying thing.
But how will
and
you
then-
get to the fire in time? So I figured you could be like flying around, and once you see some fire, you could swoop down, magic it, and then go back and do your thing.
I can do that twice. Yeah, I could fly
Well, it's better than nothing.
and then come back. But I could only Well,
And then you guys at the gate are gonna sword. And sword.
We're trying
And
to.
just sword.
We don't want to have our men just outside the gates just to be swarmed or you know.
Right.
Because then you could get
What-
sword, and then you can't sword. So you gotta
Right.
be inside to then sword.
So what we're trying to do is locate. We have some scouts around, and they're shooting up fire arrow into the air to indicate where the fire is being started, and then we will send small groups to them. But we only have so many scouts, so if we have a way of finding them, getting there quickly, magicking them,
magicking them.
and then
Like, what do you think about wind
Put
that
that on.
blows the fire toward the orcs?
depends on where the fire started.
If
If the
it's-
fire started midway through the shantytown, then you're just putting the fire in. You're just spreading the fire,
That's true.
doing their job for them.
May I ask what is the end game with this strategy?
So right now we're just looking. I'm simply referring to just the fire. We also have a large group of scouts right now surveying the area of where the orcs are approaching, trying to get numbers. And if we find a good avenue, we may take the northeast gate and push them into the ocean.
That's a fine strategy. I'm asking, in terms of the shantytown, the orc numbers, they have enough to continually foray and set fires, yes? And is there a time at which... Is there a time that we're trying to reach?
Well, we're letting them do the work of approaching to us,
Correct.
right? But as they approach, they're sending in their little fingers
Yes.
to start their little fires. And once they've approached close enough, we'll be sending in our men to swoop in and destroy.
So, my question is, as unfortunate as it is, arson in general, what is the purpose of putting out the fires in the shantytown then?
The people's homes, their belongings. The fire could spread and lick the buildings closer to the wall, weakening the wall, destroying the docks nearby, then the ships. There's a lot of money involved.
Okay.
It's not just a shantytown outside the gates.
Okay, okay.
So, because I mentioned this before, but because of the way that a city grows,
There's
they build a wall
neighborhoods.
and then it continues to sprawl.
Okay.
And so it's like
Gotcha,
shantytown, suburbs, and shops,
And then
the city wall.
Gotcha.
So there's probably still some buildings, maybe with
Right. So
brick walls,
we're trying to keep that. From,
Yeah,
from
and
just
so
getting underneath
you
stuff.
guys are like over here in this
Gotcha.
little region.
Okay.
How close is the water?
I mean, it kind of depends. So the northern wall. Here, let me pull up the map for you, and that might actually help illustrate. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's kind of a peninsula, and they're coming down the coast, and so there's going to be a gate. Sort of, I can't quite see, but there's going to be the main gate right here, and then there's a smaller gate up here. And so the problem is the distance. There's a couple gates along the route from the mountain to the sea, and most likely it's going to be a huge wall of orcs that come. The sprawl of the shantytown and suburbs is great enough to be... Are you thinking of like pushing the ocean up and over?
Yeah, well, control water can do a couple of things. And the one that I'm thinking about is flood, where it caused the water level of all standing water in an area to rise by as much as 20 feet.
How much is... What's the radius?
Yeah, what's the area that it can affect?
Range is 300 feet. A cube up to 100 feet on a side.
It's a pretty
It's a lot.
big cube.
It's a lot. 100 feet.
by 100 feet.
Okay.
Then
30 yards.
If I choose an area in a large body of water, instead of just rising all of the standing water by 20 feet, it can cause a wave. A 20-foot tall wave that travels from one side of the area to the other and crashes down.
300 feet.
Yes.
Okay. So here's how this is kind of going to go down. You guys can come up with ideas on how to help the good guys fight the bad guys. That's a great idea. And I will say that you do that. So if you can think of other ideas on how you will help. But let me get into sort of the narrative of the battle.
Okay.
But bring that up when I ask for ideas. So it's going to be kind of a skill challenge.
Okay.
And that's a great use of that. Okay, so shortly after you guys or during your discussion, a shorter, skinnier fellow runs up and says, Sir Beldar, I'm coming to report on the orcs. There's far fewer. There seems to have been a mutiny of some kind. There was I've gotten word that there was complete chaos in groups fighting since this morning, or early in the night, or late in the night, however you want to say it. Something happened. A giant blue flare exploded, and shortly after that, just all hell broke loose. The two factions that are not the Black Flags either fought and died or ran. The only groups that are coming are the Black Flags. There's only about a third of the Orc horde now. Maybe at most half. Very good. That's excellent news. Do we know what happened? What was the blue flare?
Raise my hand.
This was you.
It was him. I'll raise my other hand and turn it blue flames. It was him.
Thank you.
And her.
Thank you, Squire.
We're sitting there just blue flames. So like kind of
So
like
this kind of younger individual, maybe 17 years old, it's like, whoa, really? And he's like, all right, get out of here.
Don't do this to them.
And so it's like, so that was you. What'd you do? Tell me what you did.
which part?
We haven't really had time to talk about what you were doing before we battled those beasts.
Well, we
What,
got Yagnarok.
Saying what sounds
Yagnoth?
Yagnoth and Logloth.
Loch Ness.
And then I was a bird and I flew with Endymion, and he magicked in blue, and it made things burn.
We flew over the
Could you
camp
be
and
more precise? What exactly happened?
We had a little bowl, and we we threw it, and
we had
was
a
the
magical
tent.
ball of bead of force.
And it covered the tent that the leader was in, and his magical advisor,
Pappy.
Grand Pappy.
Uncle, I think.
And I flew it up high, and so then it popped after about a minute, and they died. And so that inspired some of the fighting. I flew back to Endymion and picked him up, and I flew him over the siege weapons, and he fireballed them.
cast a fireball.
Oh, the kid also mentions and we've seen no siege weapons whatsoever.
So that's why there are no siege weapons.
So yeah, step 1 was assassinate the leader and his elder,
Yes.
Wafwaf. And step 2 was destroy the siege weapons, and then we came back. So
Yeah.
Well fucking done.
Thank you.
He's only saying it because
All of a sudden, this has gotten a lot easier.
I got a 5 on my insight to see if he was being sarcastic.
you don't
You
believe.
believe whatever your first thought is.
I bet he's being truthful.
Okay.
well, I mean, I almost just went and say, well, we magicked to magic, to magic. So you could sword, the sword, stab, sword. But,
Well, this is fantastic news. They also mentioned that the hill giants are still there. They're still in tow. All right. So, how are you guys going to get involved with the little arson creatures that come in and start setting fires to the shanty towns?
I've got an idea.
Okay.
They're a wall of force, right? They want to come and light fires, follow the fires into the chaos.
Right now, yeah. So right now they're doing more guerrilla, just sneak in, set fires everywhere they can, to burn a area, to clear it out, and then brute force the shit out of the walls.
So why don't we roll out the red carpet?
What do you mean, burn it first?
Nah.
Destroy everything.
I was like, what do you mean? Like
I
for a
know-
forest fire, you just burn the fuel before the fire gets
Okay.
there and it goes out?
I wanted to give you the dramatic headline
Okay.
and then follow with the information. So, dramatic headline.
You
let's
did.
roll out the
You
red carpet.
succeeded. Okay.
So, they are just going to light shit on fire
Mhm.
haphazardly. And they're going to just be a wall of force. But if we strategically light some fires on a straight path to give them access to a gate, to try to funnel them in instead of them just coming, we direct them down one way and we ring these babies.
I don't like the term ringing babies.
I'll just tell Eldar, my typical fireball did great against siege weapons. We've got one that is 3 times as powerful. But
But with that, if their intention is to burn a lot, then I don't know, I think perhaps us burning some of it is just kind of doing their work for them.
right, but would they let up and just be like, fire, we go to fire? They get in a frenzy and we're just like,
That's
we're
fair.
gonna stop lighting fires because there's already fire.
Mm.
You know, like when you fight a fire, you
You punch the fire.
you punch fire.
I know how to fight fire.
Well, I think that the alleyway that you're going to try and create needs to be hundreds of feet wide.
It's a lot of buildings.
It's a lot of.
Might not be the best idea, but
Structure.
it's an idea.
It is
All
an
right.
idea, yeah.
There's no bad ideas in brainstorming.
So I've been told.
Otherwise, we
The plan is to Rohirrim the side of them
The classic,
into the ocean.
classic historical battle.
Yep. Before they get to the shantytown.
And
So we could meet.
I'm just saying that's the plan. We don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, do we meet them?
How far away is the horde proper? How much time do we have before it seems that they reach?
We'll say like 3 miles, so you've got like an hour.
Oh, so not very long at all.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got another hour.
Okay.
Because the other idea was like we meet them at the edge of the shanty town.
They're already coordinating troops on the northeast gate to try and get the wedge.
And didn't they?
They're gonna come out the front gate too, so they're gonna.
They're gonna try to push that. Yeah.
Didn't they dig trenches?
Yeah, they did, because they wanted to make sure that the siege weapons would have a harder time to get to the
Getting
walls.
close enough.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you have an idea at one point of like filling them with oil and then lighting them on fire?
Yeah,
Could we do that in an hour?
They didn't have enough time to
probably didn't. Yeah.
That would be a lot.
gather all the resources for it. I mean, they have some things like that built on top of the walls to pour down
Mm-hmm.
or pour down rocks and things like that.
Things got
But
accelerated.
to fill them, yeah, it would be.
It'd be
It's a good
huge
idea.
undertaking, but
But they just don't have the time
Okay.
at this point to start it. When did you come up with the idea? I don't recall.
It might have been in a Discord.
It was during our brainstorming session where we talked about the assassination.
So at most
The
a
bubble.
day ago.
yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, there wouldn't have been enough time to coordinate it.
So I'm sure they probably started digging
not in-
trenches, but
They've dug. They did a good job digging a trench in the main area of the wall. And even then, it's not a very deep trench, but
Enough
it's
to
still
mess
it's
up
enough
the
to
capital.
be
Yeah.
siege weapons are clunky.
Right.
So
Yep. You have to get stuff.
a good trench will save your city.
so
Gyrus wouldn't really be able to, so my two ideas for myself are simply to run out into the shantytown and attempt to stop orcs, attempt to intercept them and perhaps
Perfectly
kill
fine.
them.
Yeah.
Or
On your
on my
very
horse.
fast
I
horse,
could
it
do
could
it on
work
my
absolutely
horse.
great.
Or I could try to ride into the ocean and see if there's a Kraken priest close enough and pull it to the horde.
Up to you.
That is a risk, and
The second thing will take longer, but it could work because the siege is a long process. So it's up to you. It's up to you what you want to do.
I feel as though
What would be cooler, or what would be more? What would be more?
I mean,
what would Gyrus do?
right? I think
What's
Gyrus-
your wisdom?
-1. It's
What's
an 8,
anybody's wisdom?
5.
+5.
Plus
She has-
one.
She has a 20 in her wisdom.
Roll a wisdom check.
24.
Okay. It's always a good idea to get allies to fight in battles. Bringing Kraken priests this close to the major city based off of what they've told you about the fact that a Kraken exists, maybe don't want to draw attention. You don't want to bring the Kraken priests to the main capital. But maybe it wouldn't matter because the Kraken's out there either way. So it's just something to keep in mind. That's
What
all.
about a purple worm?
Not
The
much
worm's
we can
out
do
there.
there. Yeah, and
The
they're
worm's out
drums.
there.
That one giant was trying to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the orcs are already hitting their drums.
I will
so-
bring
They
the
are hitting
shine
the
drums.
drums. You're gonna write it?
Yeah,
The
and
drums
Damien's
out.
gonna be riding
No
it.
rhythmic drumming.
20 sessions later.
What do you?
I'm gonna tame it. I can fix it.
I feel like Gyrus would feel like he needs to be more present.
Okay.
Because the amount of time it would take, the
All right.
risk of not finding it at all.
Roll an athletics, animal handling check.
15.
Okay. Roll an athletics check.
That's a nat 20.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Plus 9.
Sounds good. All right. So the drums of the orcs approacheth. Small fires are getting brought into the city. Are you going to also kind of fly around just to kind of keep an eye on things as they approach, or where are you going to be during the approach? You're gonna be a big vulture, kind of circling, looking around.
Yeah, I think that is a good idea.
Okay. You guys don't have like a sending stone per people. You don't have like walkie-talkies or anything. Right?
We have no.
We have one-
two. We have one.
But
for
none to
Mila.
each other. But not to each
No.
other. Okay.
How
Or
rare
any
are
like
those?
telepathy or
Pretty
anything.
pretty rare. They're not
Okay.
super
I mean,
common.
It seems like if anybody's gonna have a stash of them, it would be the people who live in a castle.
Yeah, it's a bit late to ask for that now.
If
Something
they
to keep in
had them,
mind.
they're probably doing it between major
Well,
stations in the city.
there are magic item there are magic item shops. You guys never just wanted to get one. Hasn't come up yet.
I mean, can we ask the prince to messenger us some?
You call him up and he's like, I'm busy, and
Custodian card them?
Not
you know?
so busy. You couldn't answer to tell us you're busy. Okay,
Uh,
bye.
all right. So we'll say that. Do you have like? You can't cast spells while in wild shape.
Correct. I can cast them before, but if they're concentration,
I was thinking more of like
Yeah.
something small, like a cantrip, like a firebolt or something like that.
no.
Okay. How loud is that? You could screech. You could screech.
Okay. One if by land, two if by sea.
So
I'm just thinking of like helping out, like indicate where they
Yeah.
are. Like you could like screech and then dive down to where it is, where a fire might be starting.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have some kind of code.
Roll perception check as a giant eagle, giant
Vulture.
vulture.
Giant.
What's your
Giant
stats
fox?
as a giant vulture eagle? All right. While you look that up, what are you gonna do during the approach?
So what was your plan? You were gonna...
I'm riding out
He's,
into the town.
he's strike forcing it.
I'm intercepting and hacking.
You're doing a good
slashing.
job with those rolls.
Yeah. Doing pretty good.
Are you going yourself or are you going with the crew?
I'm going by myself, baby.
Yeah,
They
there's
told me
there's
that
typically
she is-
there's typically only like one person that you there's only like one orc you come across that's like lighting fire. Like he looks up and you just slash him in half.
Mhm.
They only have 15 hit points, so it does not take you very long to kill them.
I mean,
I'm just going on ski, I guess.
But well, it doesn't matter. I already had you roll animal handling check and athletics check to see how long you could do it and how fast you could do it, and you're doing a great job. What are you gonna do?
I'm debating just like joining him if I hold onto your back. Like, I guess
She can just make you stick.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like. If I just cast mage armor. because
What
they-
if I carry you?
The issue
That's an
is-
option. You could dive. I mean, that's a good idea because instead of like diving down just to let the people know, you dive down and drop Endymion, and then you do your battles and you claw at them. Then you come back up.
Yeah.
Just how long can you be?
5 hours.
Oh shit! Okay, sorry. I thought it was like.
Yeah.
And you guys are already a team.
You've already
I-
done it.
The two of you
You have
already
the-
you know
you
how
have
to
the
do it.
harness
Yeah,
on.
death from above.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're still wearing the harness.
It's
Okay.
basically a backpacking rig, just with no backpack.
Yeah.
Just
Great.
rig for her to grab.
What was your perception check as a giant? Whatever you're gonna be, eagle.
Oh, I
or...
haven't done it yet.
Okay.
Giant vulture.
Okay, so you guys are gonna kind of do your own strike forces.
Yep.
And stop them.
8.
Okay.
Total?
5 plus 3.
You want to give her some guidance?
I would love to give you guidance. The
Yes.
D4.
Add a D4.
Add a D4 to it.
Plus 3.
11.
Okay, 11. That's enough to see some lights start. So with an 11, I'll say you'll see when the fire starts to grow. Do you have a way of stopping a fire midway?
I mean, basically, it's like I think I was using prestidigitation, which can
It can snuff a candle.
small campfire
Okay.
every action. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
it's like not as good as her control flames, but
Sure.
Ooh, I actually have advantage on wisdom checks that rely on sight or smell.
Well, then roll her up.
Roll that advantage, baby.
Oh no!
Do you have an
Double guidance?
Do you have
My passive perception is 13.
Do you have inspiration?
I do.
Do you want to use
Triple
it?
advantage. Gotta use it for something.
Yeah.
There you go!
Plus a d4.
What do you got?
Nope, that's not a 4.
Got an 8 on my d4.
20.
Okay, very good. You can see them starting the fires with your eagle eye. Eagle eye.
Vulture eye.
Wait, eagle eye.
Joe. Eagle Eye Joe.
Oh, what is it? It's a Parks and Rec reference. I'm sorry. He's like eagle-eyed tiger.
Eagle Eye Tiger. New band name.
Called it.
Like an eagle-eyed tiger. Okay, eagle-eyed tiger. You're the eagle eye, and he's the tiger. You swoop down, and you're able to stop quite a few of them as you're kind of going you're doing your business. So you have saved quite a few people's homes, personal belongings, shops, lots of things, and you have as well. All right, so those are lots of successes. You guys have rolled very well. Okay, the drums approach further. And they are just outside the shanty town. The order to meet them in the first round goes off. Loud horns blow from the tops of the walls. And so out comes a cavalry from the northeast and comes down and swoops in to battle them from that side, while a large infantry floods out the gates of the front gate to battle them from that side. You're going to use tidal wave or something like it.
Yeah.
So flying over to you drop Endymion off somewhere. You can decide that later. And you fly over to the coast.
Yes.
The orcs are near-ish the coast. It's a huge mass of orcs. It's still, even though they are a third of what the numbers that they had, it's still so many. And it's the entire Black Flag tribe that was not killed in the commotion of what happened in the early morning. You cast this. Describe it one more time.
I mean, it's the large body of water or just standing water here?
It's a large body of water.
So
it's a giant. It's a,
yeah.
it's
So
a-
I create a 20-foot tall
it's a strait.
wave
Isn't it?
that travels from one
Bay?
side of an area to the other, and then crashes down.
300 feet.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Any
So
huge or smaller vehicles on the wave's path are carried with it to the other side. Any struck by the wave have a 25% chance of capsizing vehicles, I guess.
okay. All right. So the wave comes and floods across many of them, knocking hundreds of them prone, and the water fills up, and as it comes back out, pulls even more out into the ocean. And orcs are notoriously bad swimmers,
Swim.
and they've broken bones as the water falls on top of them, breaks and sprains certain things. They lose weapons, and all manner of inconveniences occur. That is one more success here. Are you riding out with the cavalry?
I mean,
or-
do I have time to get up to where they are?
course you do.
Or, like, because I kind of think...
You could lead the cavalry.
I'm sure,
in
yeah.
your
I mean,
black
yeah.
fey horse
I would
as
want...
a robot.
I would want to be at the front somewhere,
Mhm.
if only to protect people, So,
It's up
If
to you.
I'm-
You can be wherever you want.
sure, I'll be with the cavalry, yeah. I'll ride in.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Chomp some bitches with this horse.
All right. Start rolling some d20s. Roll. Let's say 5 d20s,
Okay.
and we'll take the average.
The average of 5. Like, actual average, like, add them up? Fuck, that's bad.
You do have inspiration.
So I can replace one of them?
one of them, two, threes.
I'll say an inspiration. You can reroll all of them.
Okay. I'm gonna do
Could I
that.
have enlarged him before he went out?
How long does that last? Because I would have had to get there, and
that's
it
good.
probably would have worn off by
Yeah.
the time I got out. And you were
Just
also
the
doing
logistics
other
of the distances.
1 minute.
things. Yeah,
the distances
absolutely.
now.
All right. Be better.
Next time we're going to bring a spell story.
That's much better. Okay. 14 plus 14 plus 18 is 46. Plus 7 or plus 10 is 56 divided by 5.
So
it's
11? Okay.
11.
11. And I will say I'll say plus your attack bonuses
Okay.
for each for that.
Okay, so 11 plus 9 is a 20.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, why don't you roll a performance check as well?
Hey, I'm proficient.
That won't mean anything.
That is a 15.
Okay. So, you ride up. So all of the cavalry is sitting on the foothills of the mountains northeast of the city. You ride up to greet them on your black stallion as a warforged, holding
Shining in the sun.
holding one of the most magnificent swords anyone's ever seen. Do you want to make a speech, or do you want to just let your performance check speak for it?
I don't know if he would.
Impromptu speech.
I mean, I guess
You don't have to.
Characters and stories do it all the time.
they do. The night. I mean, this is the moment that the
Chaucer.
knight would like
This is when you
make
would do an epic
make
poem.
the big. Yeah,
I mean, so sorry, what group are you with?
I'm with the cavalry.
Cavalry
So
that's
the
going to
swooping in. Okay.
hit him from the side.
Move side, strong.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah. Give a rousing speech.
Okay. And with a 15, I mean, you don't have to do it if you don't want to.
Sure.
But I'm giving you the opportunity to have a spotlight.
You know, this is the hour of our triumph, and for all of whatever. I don't know. Yeah, it's a rousing speech, and he's like drawing on the various the scenery and the histories and the righteousness of our cause and all that.
Okay. All right. With that and your make an animal handling check as well. Another one.
That one's not great. That's a 7.
Okay. Just trying to add a little color to it. It's maybe Shki releases some ungodly sound.
Oh God! It's not a horse.
Sound very orcish.
Yeah.
Orcish?
She speaks Orcish.
All right, so you give a rousing speech in the name of Torm and all that is just and right in the world, and then to defeat the horrible ilk that comes to destroy all that is good. It is successful, and that helps. And not to mention your 20 in your damage. You make impressive way through the orc horde. Okay, so that is that, and that's that. Do you have anything that you want to contribute?
I think raises. I'm thinking
You're gonna
raises
go
the
find.
range.
You're gonna go find the bard.
The what?
You're gonna go find the bard.
Oh, I could.
See you guys later.
Is he even around?
No,
No.
of course not. You think that guy,
Finnick?
Yeah, Finnick is gonna be like near the front line. Hell no.
I think I'll talk to Beldar and be like, what kind of force is going to be going to the front lines?
It's going to be the first wave of infantry. So the way that this is going to work is the first blow of the horns is going to meet them and crash into them and do some and have some battles. There are some like very low level magic users that are going to be there working with the lieutenants. If things are going poorly, they will send off a red flare into the air. In which case, horns will resound to retreat back to the walls, and then it's kind of like a come in and out and destroy. Like retreat back to behind the city gates, heal the wounded, get reinforcements, and then go back and meet them and smash into them again, and repeat and repeat that as long as they're approaching.
Okay. I'm just thinking of a way to, like, if I were to either go with them to the front lines for that first clash, and if I could go with some, like, maybe there's a couple people on horseback to get me up there, so that I could distance spell. I guess I can't. Could I distance spell a Ring of Storing spell? Probably.
No.
I think you'd have had to put it on. If
You're right.
like,
You would
when
have had to distance spell the spell into the spell storing. Right.
For next time.
And he says if you're going to use something important, maybe wait until the hill giants show up.
Yeah, that's probably. Just wait for that.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise, just wait for that little retreat to do it, but I think I'll probably wait for the hill giants.
Okay. All right, so you cast your tidal wave and did your thing. Didn't take a long time. It's probably only a single action to occur. Maybe.
But it lasts. The water stands for 10 minutes.
Okay. So you get out of dodge, you wild shape again, and get out of there because you're all alone in the middle of the orc horde. Does anyone want to try and destroy any of the shamans that are there healing the wounded and giving sort of like bless kind of spells?
I mean, I feel like if the cavalry's making headway, if
You'll focus them.
Yeah, if we can make it through, and if I can see supporters or casters or whatever, I'm gonna go after them. Yeah.
Okay.
It'd probably be safer for me to be at the walls waiting for the hill giants then,
I think
instead of
so.
being in the general infantry and trying to sniper people.
Yeah, you don't take hits very well.
I do not.
Okay. Okay. Well, you guys have been doing very good, so it's not going to matter very much. I'm thinking more of just thematically.
Since I'm closer to the horde, am I able to notice? Like, obviously, I'm like in the middle of battle, so I'm not really like but,
surveying.
But like, I'm not noticing any women or children, right, at this part.
So you do notice plenty of women, but it's not unheard.
But
it's
they're
not
fighting.
uncommon.
Okay, that's
Yes, they are fighting.
yeah.
The children you do see, but they're kind of surrounding the back lines
Okay.
of the area, but they are kind of in tow.
Okay.
Some, not many.
Okay. Does it seem like the children are going to fight? Like, are they
No,
armed? Like, are they
no.
kind of like... Okay.
No. From your perspective, you can't really tell
Sure.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
But from here, I'll say, you know what? For Literate Dragons purposes, no children are in the area whatsoever.
Great. They're all behind all of the fighters. Okay.
They were all captured by the other tribes people and removed from the Black Flags to go and make flight.
And learn to be more positive individuals.
And the ones that didn't make it were murdered. I'm just kidding.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, we'll just say for the sake of people.
I just wanted to
we'll
get a
say
sense
there's
of like
no child death.
how it was set up. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Hacking and slashing.
hacking
All
and
right.
slashing.
All right, things are going pretty well. You start to lose a few forces, and some flares go off, and the two horns go, and the first wave retreats back to the walls as designed. The fires begin again after a little bit of time, but the orc horde is making their way closer and closer. Not quite within longbow distance, but just about. You can see the hill giants in the middle of the horde approaching the gate.
Okay.
Can I cast control water again, but instead of doing a flood, just have the water level raise so that it's hard to, instead of a tidal wave, have it raise so it's harder for them to light more fires?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can do that thing. Let's say that you do that, and you are able to make the water rise enough and displace enough water that it is a little bit harder to make some fires. They can always just How high is the water?
20 feet
Oh, okay.
for 10
Yeah.
minutes.
But it's like, because of the water kind of slopes down, it's 20 feet and then less and less and less as you go.
That's 100
But-
foot cube, right? 100
Um,
foot on one side.
So no fire damage, but plenty of flood damage.
it's only the 20.
Hopefully they have flood
Flood
insurance.
insurance. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, living that close to the ocean, you
I would
got
hope
to.
so.
You got to.
All right. So you do that. Do.
100 feet too.
All right. So you're going to break wild shape. You're going to fly over to there or some way. Cast it. Wild shape again. That's 3 wild shapes. How many do you get?
I only have 2. So where was I for the first one?
A mile and a half away from the wall.
If I'm on the wall, the range is 300 feet. Can I do the rising waters from 300 feet?
Yes. Sure. Yeah.
That's what I'll do.
All right. So you save that little suburb area next to the prime real estate next to the wall. Saving some buildings. All right. The orc horde approacheth, and
How many hill giants? Or
3 hill giants. The horde hacks and slashes as they go, destroying everything that they can. The horn blows, and infantry goes out the front gate, and the cavalry returns to bash them again. Are you going to go with the cavalry again?
I would assume I'm going to stick with them, yeah.
You're going to roll another 5d20, add your damage.
Attack.
One of them didn't make it.
On this side. How far are the giants from the wall now?
We'll call it
Let me know when they're within
1,000 feet.
Let me know when they're within 300. I guess.
Okay.
27 plus 18 is 45. Divided by 5 is
9.
9. Yeah.
Plus your attack bonus.
Plus 9 is 18.
Okay. Still very good.
Yeah.
Still very good. Roll another animal handling check.
That was a natural 1.
Ew. Roll it again. Uh-oh.
Natural 20. How's that?
Okay. Okay. All right. Shki is winded.
Mhm.
She's
not
probably
used
she's
to
done.
this. Yeah.
She's done.
It's too dry.
All right.
She's done for the day.
All right.
Unless you want to force her.
No, if she's done, I'll let her go.
Okay.
And I'll just fight on foot.
All right. You want to take her back toward where Endymion and
Presumably, if I'm going to be on foot, I'll hop in with the infantry.
with the infantry. Okay, sounds good.
It's closer to the water
You
anyway.
make your way over, and at that point, that's around the time when the horde has approached close enough to be. What'd you say? How far?
I'm waiting for they're hill giants, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the hill giants specifically. So once a hill giant is within 300 feet of the
Okay.
wall, let me know.
Can you count from the wall out how many feet you've got here?
I mean, that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75.
Okay.
So,
All right. So the orc horde approaches first. As they're approaching, the infantry fill the wall above and start raining arrows down. As they get closer to the wall itself, they start throwing rocks down as well. Now there is a trench here, but it's not really stopping anyone because the siege weapons are dead anyway. They just walk right up and over. People are kind of poking spears at them from within the walls. Along the ground floor of the walls, there are I forget what these are called, where you can see through, but like only barely, and you can shoot arrows through.
Oh, like
Like
murder holes or arrows?
Yeah, murder
Slits,
holes.
yeah.
As well. Arrow slits.
something like that, yeah, I forget the name, but
So they're just piling up bodies here in front of the wall. The hill giants are now within range, and they are surrounded by a black wave of orc.
Okay.
They're now within range.
Okay, so of the 3, I'm going to pick one. Whatever one. Center. Doesn't matter. But I'm going to focus fire one.
With the fireball.
Well, right now with regular fireball.
Okay.
So once I can, generally tell they're within 300 feet. I don't know how that works in D&D
It's fine.
lore, but I'm like, okay, I feel like that's within that.
They're about 200 feet away from the wall.
That's great, because
If you're standing on top of the wall.
So once I realize that, I will cast a 3rd level fireball. I'm probably going to just do this like 3 times in a row, generally, of 3 3rd level fireballs.
You do also see minor casters shooting down like other smaller spells at the groups. But yeah, go ahead.
But the big one, I'm going to do those as distanced as he's going from 300 feet to the regular distance for fireball is 150 feet.
Okay.
So
Roll it. Roll the damage. And we'll roll the dex saves.
So
How many d6s you need?
8d6, so I can just roll this twice.
Okay.
I got 4.
Sounds good.
So that is 9 and 5.
What's your spell save DC?
18. I believe.
What?
Dex save.
Your spell save is 18?
I have a +5 charisma and the +1 from the shard.
So it's 8
So
plus 5 for his charisma, plus 4 for proficiency, plus 1 from the shard.
Okay.
I have
Jeez.
now maxed out my charisma.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's not going to get much better. But
Yeah,
it's,
All right. Well,
That's it for the rest of the
all failed.
game. Okay. So sorry, I had
Roll your
14.
damage.
Wow, no. For the first.
Did you say they all failed roll damage?
And
They all
then
failed.
10.
Roll your damage.
Oh.
6. Sorry.
What do you think?
I was thinking his
14,
rolls
So 30.
failed. It's
30 damage
their-
on the first fireball.
for the first
Okay.
fireball.
They all take 30 damage.
You want me to do the other ones?
Yeah.
You want to help me with math? 14. And 12.
It's 26.
They all failed again because 18 is ridiculous.
Especially for dex save for a giant.
Sorry, so
Well, dex
8,
minus
8,
1.
16?
Yeah.
Plus 12 plus 6, 18.
18 plus 16 is 34. 34 on the third one.
Okay. So 30, 26, and 34.
64 plus
You're gonna do
26
3,
is
you said.
90. Yeah, that's all 3 of them. 30 on the first one, 26 on the next one, and 34 on the last one.
Just 1 second.
So that should be 90 total.
90?
Yeah.
Okay. I must have missed one somewhere in there.
3 is 270 damage. Times 3 is a total of 270 damage. If it hit all three giants.
Okay.
I think it's
they
-1. It's a 20 foot radius.
having only very few hit points left, turn tail and run.
Oh
The
shit!
orcs stab them as they go, and they fall down dead.
How many orcs do they crush when they fall?
6.
That's something. That's a number.
Take them out.
All right. The hill giants were destroyed. They have 105 hit points, so you almost had them.
Yeah.
Altogether.
Well, hold on, because that's
Yes.
that was me like focus firing 1 pretty much, right?
They all get the same damage.
Oh, were they all within 20 feet of each other?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know they were that close.
20 feet.
It's
Isn't
a
it 20-foot
20
radius?
Is
Yeah.
it 20 foot? Oh wait,
So
is
that's
it 20 foot
40
radius
It's
or?
it's
Yeah.
20 foot radius, so this one had to be within 20 feet on that side, and this one had to be on 20 feet on that side. So
Well, yeah.
I forgot
yeah,
radius. instead of-
40-foot diameter.
They were going in. Yeah.
Okay. Shit, I thought it was just gonna be hitting 1. I didn't
No,
know
you
I
got all 3 of
was
them.
getting splash damage.
Nope.
Shit.
So yeah, you hit all 3 of them with fireballs, not to mention the orcs that were around them. So the first fireball comes in And they're like, whoa, what the fuck was that? But the orcs kind of poke and prod them, and they continue on. The second one hits them, and they're dazed and confused, and they poke and prod them forward. The third one hits, like, we're out of here.
Fuck!
They start running away, and the orcs just kill them as they go.
Holy shit.
Because they only had 15 hit points left. But
Okay.
yeah, they, like, just muscles just, like, falling off of them.
God.
Flesh
Alright.
burning.
Not to mention the orcs that you killed in the splash damage of the fireballs themselves.
Alright. Shit. Okay. I can still do more
All right.
damage if we need, but...
The orcs continue to approach the walls, and they have no siege weapons. They have no hill giants. They have nothing whatsoever to break the walls at all. As time progresses, they continue pushing, not stopping. The screams of for Groomsh, or it like for honor, for strength, for Groomsh, just constantly saying that over and over again. They are in a frenzy, a religious frenzy, because of what they saw, and they will 100% be killed. Every last one of them will continue to fight until all of them are dead. The battle continues for a few hours into the evening. Bodies and blood run through the streets, but they would not stop until every last black flag orc pushes forward. That is the end of the orc siege. You guys did a fantastic job.
Got him.
Only a handful of casualties from the common people because of what you guys did.
Wow.
Particularly what you did the night before.
Ooh.
So as the battle winds down, you go back to the castle, and we will pick up in the evening time of that day next session.
Okay.
Well done.
Woo!
Well done. Breaking the siege of the last march of the orc.
My God.
Now, just going forward.
We will see you guys next week.
next week.
Alright.
Bye.
See you guys.
On this light note.